Some people will just go with that Old Testament God because they are afraid, right? That idea of this God that's wrathful and just, and it's not just at all. He's cruel. He's vindictive. He's unmerciful, but yet there's claims of eternal mercy or never-ending mercy, right?
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Can.
And this is the Dan and Can podcast. Welcome back, Cracker Jacks. And welcome to the new year. How we all doing out there? Did you have a good New Year celebration? Your resolutions are firm and in place, Can?
Great
this is
podcast
perfect
material.
for an audio medium. Candy's gonna
I just
be
did 2 thumbs up.
doing
All right, fine.
ASL for the rest of the program. That's all we're trying to push people to the video side. So yeah, now you gotta just what? No, just kidding. Well, yes, it's first of the year, and in tradition, we're not going to do anything about New Year's or anything like that.
What you mean? Like we don't do a New Year's?
We talked
thing?
about New Year's in the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about the post-apocalyptic New Year. So whatever. I'm just rambling.
Whatever. I'm not
Candy,
following. Just
let's embarrass ourselves a little bit.
Okay, we do that all the time. So
Well,
fine.
We're really going to do it this time. Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, not so bad, but let's go and revert back many, many decades ago to our youth, teenage years.
Wow. Thank you.
Who were some of your celebrity crushes?
Oh God, what are you doing right now?
All right.
Ew. No. I'm not saying it.
I
know what
had,
you want me to say.
mine, one of mine, Alyssa Milano.
Yeah.
I was a real big Who's the Boss fan.
She's cute though. She was cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a pretty lady still, I think. I don't know. I haven't seen her.
Yeah. I think she's aged pretty naturally too.
Has she?
I
I'll look
haven't
her
seen
up.
any pictures for a long time, but she was in the news for being such a...
What was her name again?
Alyssa Milano. Just
Alyssa.
Outrageous liberal.
Oh, how dare she? Yeah, she looks pretty. She looks the same. She's aged really well. Yeah. She's very pretty.
Let's see. All right, Candy. It's confessions time.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, yes, Johnny Depp, 21 Jump Street.
I loved John. I was a big fan of 21 Jump Street.
Didn't you have a poster? No, you didn't have a poster of him.
I had pictures. My mom worked at a printing company, so she would bring home the teen which is funny because we were evangelicals, you know.
Tiger Beat or
she
whatever.
would bring that home. Yeah, we had this weird conflict between my parents all our lives. My mom was kind of this fun, but she would
we talked about
ever
it
confront my dad. Yeah,
we talked about it in one of the Christmas episodes.
Did we? Like she would sneak things in all the time.
Where your dad would be like, "We're not celebrating Christmas. We're not having a tree, no stockings." And she's like,
"That's the one thing where she would just like push back automatically." Yeah, she would do that right in his face. But the other things, it was almost like hidden, kind of the little things she would do. She would let us watch things, and so she would bring home those teen beats
and watch Melrose
and I'd take
Place
the posters
and all
out.
that.
Yeah, we watched Melrose Place 90210. My dad was working late though at that time. So anyways, I'd get the little posters, little fold out, and I'd put up, and I had a makeshift bedroom because this is the first time I actually had my own bedroom. I forgot. I used to think I had this memory that I never had my own bedroom, but I made my own bedroom at one point because we had this bigger area out in our basement. We had one bedroom in the basement that I shared with my sister for a really long time. And I eventually wanted my own. So I put a curtain up that I could slide across and created my own. I put a curtain on both sides so that you couldn't come in because you could enter the room from 2 sides. Put a curtain up on both sides and I had my own room. And that's where I put my posters up. And my parents, I don't think ever went in there. I loved that room.
Your first
It was my
independence.
little space. It was. I was always trying to get independence, but yes, and there were other Leonardo DiCaprio, which is questionable today.
We're volleying back and forth.
Oh, okay, all right.
So here's going to be a shocker to you. Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Really?
Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah, I know who she is. Well, you got a fondness for the dark hair. You like them Italian. Isn't she Italian too?
Kapowski? That sounds like either Polish.
Doesn't sound Italian, but she kind of.
Or no, that Kelly Kapowski was her character.
Amber Thiessen? Tiffany Amber Thiessen? Is that her name? Something like that?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see how she.
She's.
Because I know Alyssa Milano is Italian.
Yeah. Oh, Amber. What gave that away?
But it's funny how you married an Italian girl too. Okay, let's see. I don't know if she is. She could be. I don't know. How do you know?
Yeah, you're gonna have to ask her.
American born. You're gonna have to ask her. She looks pretty too. Like she's aged really well. So okay. Yeah, enjoys Italian. Oh no, she enjoys Italian culture. I don't know if she's part. She's American with German ancestry. Oh, you like Germans? I am part German too. So
am I.
You definitely have a type.
Yeah,
you have a type. Do I have a type? Because if I do, who's coming up?
It's Trevor Noah.
He is cute and he has a good mind. So shut it.
Okay.
You are very much embarrassing me. Like I feel like I'm going to start blushing. I don't like this.
I return serve back to you. Balls in your court now.
This is where I go with Leonardo DiCaprio. He was probably Johnny Depp and Leonardo DiCaprio are up there. They're probably my two biggest crushes.
We're going to reveal
they're
the big
up there above this one. Okay, they're above this one.
I don't know if they were.
This one was a tiny crush, and it was when I was younger.
Currently above the other ones. Back then, this one was allowed.
No, it wasn't. It was not. Sir, it was very small, and I don't even know if it was a real. I don't consider it a crush, but yes. So Johnny Depp, who has his own issues, but I like him. I just do. I think I don't find him so attractive anymore, but I do think he's like a good. Like
why are we back on Johnny Depp? I thought you went to Leonardo.
Johnny Depp was one of my biggest. Johnny Depp probably was my big. Leonardo was up there, but Leonardo. He's got problems. He's very much attracted to women half his age, which to me seems like something is stunted in his sexuality, his sexual growth, maturity. Something's wrong. To me, that's my opinion. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist.
Something there. All right. So now it's back in my court. Here's kind of an obscure one. Jennifer Grey.
I don't know who that is. I'm going to look up.
From Dirty Dancing.
Oh, why that I can see that. That's Baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's her.
She
looks pretty too.
Ferris Bueller's Day
Off. Oh yeah,
Off.
she's been in a lot of shows. Yeah. I've seen her lots of times. Yeah. Yeah, Ferris Bueller. Yeah, Real Pain. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, she's pretty. So I can see that. This is the last one.
Not necessarily. Let's see if you can come out with that.
Do you have more?
I have one more.
Okay, so I have to come up with one more before I say the one that you want me to say.
You're ruining the fun of this.
No, I'm not. I'm actually creating anticipation.
You went to the baseline, and I just over the net, back in your court.
You know, it would have been nice in advance if I was able to think this through because I did have lots of crushes. Let's see, who was another one?
Come on now.
Let me just. I don't know because you know what? My only crush is you for the longest time.
Oh,
so I don't sit and think about.
We're going BD before Dan. All right.
That's why I can't remember though. I don't sit and drool over pictures of these people. Okay, unlike someone. Oh, I know.
Except for the posters you had hung up in your makeshift curtain bedroom.
Okay. Brad Pitt, which is an obvious one for a lot of people.
Bradley Pitt. The old The River Runs Through It, Bradley Pitt.
He was in Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
I thought he was cute in that. I don't know if the river runs through it was I probably had a little crush on Tom Cruise, but just because of the, he exuded some sort. Oh, Corey Haim.
Oh,
I kind of had a crush on him. River Phoenix. Had a crush on him. Oh man, now they're all coming up to that.
There's too many balls coming back at me. You're only supposed to hit one.
So there you go.
All right, so the one back, here it comes. Elizabeth Shue.
Oh, of course. I could see that too. You do have kind of there's a mixture there a little bit.
There is, but
do mine have some sort of similarities or not really?
They all kind of aged well and naturally.
Well, it's just because they haven't had they've probably had some work. I doubt there's very many that haven't had
do,
like Botox maybe, but like
nothing Mar-a-Lago-ish.
No. They've more naturally aged than
like like Courtney Cox and all them. So
Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Like it's weird because Jennifer Aniston looks much more natural.
Yeah.
And then you got Courtney Cox, I don't even know if you can or Meg Ryan. I didn't even recognize her when I saw her.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh gosh, she looks different. But I understand it. That the pressure for them is, maybe someday I'll get some work done. A little Botox here. No, probably not because I wouldn't want to spend the money on it.
So I approached tonight.
All right, I've stalled long enough. Is this how you think you're going to win this little freaking game? Okay, I'm going to admit something, and I am not happy about it. You can't control a crush, okay? I was just talking to my parents yesterday or a couple days ago. You can't control a crush. Crushes just happen, and you control what you do with it, okay?
You're human. You have natural...
As a little kid, and it was a very small crush, I will admit this, and it was only because he was plastered on the magazines at the time, and I didn't know.
You're human, and we are all designed to have attraction to people. Certain features are going to stand out to us. Maybe the character that portrays personality is endearing to us, and that's going to add to that.
Yeah. I apologize to myself, my former self. I forgive her for her wrongdoings. I have compassion for her because this person I find so unattractive at this point in my life, but you have to admit it because you made this stupid game. And I feel like you've put me into this atmosphere behind us of hell. And his name is Kirk Cameron.
I thought you were going to say Boner from Growing Pains.
Was that his name?
That was his buddy's name. That was always a joke going around that Kirk Cameron had to constantly say Boner because his best friend in the show was Boner. So he's like, hey, Boner. Boner's coming over tonight.
Okay, yeah. So, yes, I admit it. I did have a small crush, and it makes me cringe now just because of how he has been. But also, I don't really he has really a hair trait that I don't usually find it. I'm not drawn to. I don't think they're all unattractive, but I like really curly hair for a guy is not something I usually was ever attracted to.
You don't like the short curlies?
Well, like his hair, just in general. Because some guys could have pulled it off, but the short curlies, oh God.
There you go. Funny. Now it clicked.
Why is it reminding me of the conversation we had this week with our 15-year-old?
Maybe that'll be a topic for the candid conversation 2 weeks ago.
No, I don't. I don't know if he wants us talking about that, but it was funny.
Yes.
Just parenting. Normal parenting.
Oh, yes. Normal parenting. All right. Let's play a game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to tie into our episode today. As you can probably see from the background, we're going to be dealing with Hades. What was the biblical term for it? Sheol. Yeah. Sheol. Yeah. And then
you have Sheol, Hades, Gehenna.
Yep.
Tartarus, I think, is another one.
Our game is going to be, this one you are going to fail miserably at, but it's going to be a learning experience for both of us, because I would fail miserably.
Okay, fine.
Because I'm assuming you haven't read Dante's Inferno.
I would actually like to. Well, I pulled it out of the bookstore, remember, a couple days ago, and I started reading a little bit. I don't know. The style, I don't know. It would take me a bit.
Abandon
it's like a poet, almost like poetry.
Ye who enter here.
Maybe I would want to read it.
That was, I think that's a line from it, isn't it?
Where
it's on
the
gate of hell. When you walk into the gates of hell, it says, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." I think that's what it says.
You want me? I'll see. Like, there's iconic lines. Yep. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Over the gates, the opening lines about being lost in a dark wood, and poignant lines like, "Without hope, we live in desire."
Okay.
Interesting.
So, in Dante's Inferno, there are layers of hell, and think of it as circles, concentric circles.
So, like concentric circles. Okay. And the middle one is farthest down, or are they down, or are they just inward?
Well, it depends. I've seen some imagery on it here while looking this up. If you have two-dimensional, it's just the circles, right? Like a bullseye, but 9 layers.
So,
but if you do it 3D,
inward,
it's kind of
like a cone.
Like a
going
cone.
down.
Yeah, going down.
Okay.
But basically the concept, from what I've understood without ever reading it, so I'm talking out my arse, is that it gets progressively worse as you far. So there's different levels.
Now I'm interested and I want to read it.
So we're going to ask you if you know the 9 layers of hell.
Well, how would I know if I've never read it?
You don't. So let's do this.
Okay, can you give me the 9 and I can do it in order, what I think the order would be? How about that?
All right. You're going to have a pen and paper to write this down.
Okay, hang on just a second. Let me get something. Okay.
Now I got to hope I get them all. All right. Violence.
Okay.
Greed.
Okay.
Limbo.
Okay.
Fraud.
Okay.
Wrath.
Okay.
Treachery.
Okay.
Lust.
Okay.
Gluttony.
Okay.
Heresy. Is that 9?
All right. Yeah. Now, okay, first let me get some facts about Dante's Inferno. Was it written by someone who was part of the religious system, or was it just like a play, or who wrote it?
Dante.
Okay. Okay. But who was he?
He was I don't know who he was. It's a 14th century book.
Okay. Is he religious at all? I'm assuming somewhat.
Yeah. So if I want to say he's Italian, so there's definitely a religious impact on it. Now,
is it satire for him?
It was a poem. It's a divine comedy. So yeah, kind of a little bit, but the Inferno is part of his divine comedy. It's a subset of another book that he was writing.
So like a series almost? What we would call a series today?
Yeah, something like that. So he had this concept of this conical escalation of
hell.
Hell. And before this, there was no real imagery, because this is what modern imagery is kind of based on. We'll go through each
hell
layer
is kind of,
as we try to figure it out. So,
okay.
But yeah, this is where we get our concept of modern day
of hell. How
so
evangelicals would think of hell.
I don't know how true this is, but I think I've heard a lot of people point to this as the precipice, not precipice, but the
precursor.
The starting point of modern versions of hell.
Okay. So wait. So is this him? Is he describing like a journey after death, or is he What's he describing?
I haven't read it, but I think it's kind of like this, kind of like a journey, and then he stumbles upon...
So someone died, and this is the story.
And this is the Infernos when he stumbled upon the gates of hell.
Okay.
And this is what he saw when he went through.
Okay. All right.
As an observer. So, level 1.
So they increase in intensity, according to his idea of intensity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to figure out what levels they go in.
Yes.
Or you're going to tell me. You said level 1. Or what do I think level 1 is? Is that what you're asking?
Level 1? Yep.
Out of those 9, you got violence, greed, limbo, fraud, wrath, treachery, lust, gluttony, and heresy. Limbo?
Very good. Now, limbo is the dwelling of the unbaptized and virtuous pagans who lived good lives but did not know Christ. Their only punishment is eternal separation from heaven.
Okay, so, hey, I will live in limbo.
Yeah.
They just live like a normal life forever?
To
like,
this,
all right.
So, but it's kind of, it actually shows a little mercy.
All right, so it's your basic unbeliever.
Yeah, and I think, because back then they understood that there's this great world around them that they haven't explored, what was beyond the seas. They're just starting to spread their shipping lanes out and discover other areas, and so they knew that there's a lot of people that haven't heard this message of Jesus yet. So what do we do with they had the questions that you had when you were a child and I had as a child. What happens to the people in the rainforest that no one knows about? What's God going to do with them? Oh, he expresses himself through nature and all this, but all right, but they didn't hear the message of Jesus. How do they know that they'd be saved? And then you have to do all that work. So this gives it out. And it actually shows some mercy from this God.
Yeah. I like that.
If you don't know anything, so
you're not going to be like tortured. You don't get to go into heaven.
Yeah, you just kind of wander. You're in limbo. You're wandering around.
Okay. Are you wandering around, or do you still have needs met and stuff? I wonder. I don't know, but limbo doesn't sound as terrible.
Yeah.
But you're not going toward any bliss at any sort. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And it's also the thing where it helps your mom out when she says, "Oh, they have to be a believer because they were so good." This takes care of the virtuous pagans that did.
They can just be in limbo for eternity. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay, circle 2.
Might be like Abraham's. It might be like Abraham's bosom or purgatory. That is kind of considered now. Yeah. Okay. All right. 2. Second one?
Yeah.
Ooh. Lust?
Ooh, nailed it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. I'm trying to think in order of how bad Christians kind of would think of these things, how often they happen.
So,
like if one is less than or seems less than.
So lust, souls who were overcome by carnal desires are endlessly buffeted by a violent howling wind, symbolizing the storms of passion that controlled them in life.
So they just constantly have a huge fan blowing on them, basically?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But
that would be annoying. I wouldn't like that.
You're blowing around all over. See,
in this picture, I wonder what that would be. I don't know. But that would be annoying. I get that. Because it would probably be cold. Maybe those frozen people right there?
No, it's not the frozen people.
Cold wind? It's not the frozen people.
Come
okay.
Later.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in
so
there.
I don't see them, but yeah. All right. Fair.
Right.
I mean, I don't know that it's fair, but I get it. Okay.
But, lust isn't so bad. Everyone kind of has feelings for themselves, and occasionally they get lost in their thoughts. I feel like this is
based on, I think this is based on men, like limbo, your basic unbeliever, and then lust, because men do it a lot, it seems like, and it's like, that one's not as bad.
Yeah,
you're not going to get punished so bad.
It's fine. We'll just blow on you. We're just giving you eternal blowjob.
So right now I'm looking at it and I'm trying to see if there's things that would be worse that they think women do more. That's what I'm going to look for. Okay, keep going.
Number
I don't know
three.
if that'll work for me, but that's my strategy.
Number three.
Number three. Okay. Stop. You're making it harder for me. Don't do that. Let's say wrath. That's probably not too. That's probably too high up. Okay, don't. All right, no. Okay, let me guess again. Greed.
Ooh, no.
No. Now I'm not doing good at all. This isn't working. Gluttony.
There you go. Gluttony.
All right, gluttony. That's another one I thought of men too, because they tend to get. You'd have these men that. You're not gluttonous, but gluttony is a lot of times you see a lot of these Christian pastors.
In my buttness. Pancakes.
He has a pancake butt. True story, especially when you wear your green sweatpants, but whatever. Sweatpant Dan.
So the gluttonous are forced to wallow in a freezing, filthy slush while a constant, disgusting storm of rain and snow pours down on them, guarded by the three-headed dog Cerberus.
I'm wondering how these ideas came up. How he came up with these ideas.
He's probably
why does this
balls.
fit gluttony?
I don't know.
Freezing slush, like they're just not comfortable, and a gluttony, you're kind of comfortable. Maybe because gluttony is not just like overweight, which is what we kind of think of like someone who overeats, right? Gluttony is just like hoarding up comfort, I think, for yourself, like where you're not willing to do anything that's uncomfortable, because you think of, I guess that kind of got tied to like overweight, because the assumption is, which isn't true, that everybody who's overweight, which that's subjective too, is lazy and doesn't work out or whatever, and working out takes effort, which isn't true. None of it's true, but that is how I probably got tied, because people do think that way sometimes.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Next one,
level 4.
You got gluttony. Treachery is going to be up there, I feel like. Heresy, I feel, is going to be up there. Violence, I feel like, would be up there too. Greed. Fraud's probably pretty bad. I'm going to say wrath.
No.
No, too high. Or too low for that one. Then I will go with greed.
Greed.
All right.
Hoarders and spendthrifts are condemned to an eternal tug of war, pushing great weights against each other, representing their obsession with material wealth.
That's interesting how they put the one who hoards it and the one who's like miserly, which is still a hoarder of some sort too. They hoard it up because they don't want to share, right? And then they're in this tug of war, huh? That's interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting one.
Think about our
that
society
one kind
now
of
with
fits.
the billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of in a tug of war to get, I'm going to get these people's money. No, I'm going to get these people's money.
But they're also both. Yeah. A lot of times. They're hoarders and misers, or whatever.
Spendthrifts.
I wrote down misers, spendthrifts. They would be like, I'm not going to, I don't know if a spendthrift would be the same as a miser.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. It would. But I don't know if a billionaire would be considered a spendthrift. It might be somebody who's just consumed with paying attention to their money all the time.
But you think about a spendthrift is also going to have a lot of shit because they're just constantly buying. No,
that's not a spendthrift, Dan. A spendthrift is going to be like miserly, like holding on their money. They don't want to spend it on anything. That's what a spendthrift would be. They're very thrifty with their spending. So it'd be more like a very frugal to the extreme. Yeah. Yes.
I gotcha.
Like Scrooge.
Yeah.
But he was also rich. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So they kind of can go together, but they don't always have to go together. Because you could be really wealthy and very generous. And you could also be kind of miserly and not have much.
Mm-hmm. Well, spendthrifts hoard money.
Well, yeah, but even the little you have, if you're like, I'm not sharing it. Because if you could, and you might have a little extra at one point and you're not willing to share it with someone who actually needs it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we're in a society in America right now where we're surrounded by this kind of thinking, though.
Yeah.
You definitely have. I think there's a lot of conservatives. I don't want to share my money with somebody. I made all my money myself, and there's no sharing, so there's no community kind of idea. But then you also have the billionaires running that.
Yeah.
You know. So, anyways, okay. Next.
Circle 5.
Fraud, wrath. Wrath.
There you go. Wrath.
Okay.
The actively wrathful eternally fight each other on the surface of the muddy river Styx, while the sullen and passive-aggressive are submerged beneath the murky water, choking on their anger.
Oh, passive-aggressive or choking on their anger? Okay, I can see that. Just kidding. Interesting.
So, yeah, it's just, this eternal fight. So they just kind of continued on into the
Eternally
afterlife
fighting
with each other. And then the passive aggressives are just kind of under the level, choking, but causing all sorts of,
in a way, just even looking at these, it's interesting. It's almost like, maybe I won't say that till the end. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you too.
No, you're fine. Circle 6.
Violence?
Nope.
Fraud?
Nope.
Heresy?
Yeah. Surprisingly enough.
I thought that would have been a little bit higher, but it's still pretty high, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where we would fall.
Yes. Oh, we're in a 6th circle, baby. Woo.
What's going to happen?
Heretics who promoted beliefs contrary to the church are trapped within flaming tombs, the heat of which corresponds to the severity of their sin.
Oh, God. Okay. And our sin was not being convinced of the truth of the church.
Speaking against the truths of the church.
Okay.
So we are going to have a pretty hot chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Our little tomb is going to be
nice and toasty. I like things warm.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, yeah.
People who are watching this, if people are listening to it and they're
please?
Christian, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, you say those words now, you're going to be eating those words. And I'm like, well, I know.
It drives them nuts. It's like, oh, you're going to give in. It's like, you need this. We'll get into that more. You need this more than I do. But I think it's kind of funny that it's also dependent on the gravity of the sin that you committed.
Yeah.
So, he was only a slight heretic. He only questioned that one pastor's one sermon. So it's going to be warm. But this guy over here was really going against some doctrine. So we really got to up the pain against him.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and honestly, it's funny how it's against the church's teachings, not Jesus' words or anything, not Jesus' teachings, but the church, what they decided was truth for us, and not what we, felt convicted of in our true heart. So we could totally go against your own, I feel like this is the right thing to do, but the church says, no, you got to do it this way. So I have to go against my own convictions and just trust the church, which is made by men. Let's not.
But in all honesty, that one kind of fits justice. Your temperature is going to be set on the severity. Now it's biblical justice based on.
It's still subjective. Yeah. Like whose idea of how severe it was.
A form of justice in there because the severity plays a role into the amount of punishment.
And in a way, and that's kind of what I was going to say earlier, there is some justice to a lot of these things concerning, there is some, I could see some logic. It's not necessarily my logic because there's different types, right? But I can see it's trying to fit kind of what, like the tug of war, the fighting, that makes sense. Okay. All
right. 3 left. Circle 7.
7 would be, let's see, so we have violence, fraud, treachery left. I feel like treachery is going to be up there. I'm going to go with violence.
Boom. You got it.
All right. Okay.
Now, this one is a unique one. It's divided into categories. This circle is divided into 3 rings. For those who committed violence against others, submerged in boiling blood.
Oh, God.
Against themselves, turned into trees and eaten by the harpies. And against
The
God,
harpies?
nature, and art, trapped on the burning sand under a rain of fire.
Wow. Okay. This sounds pretty horrible. So burning sand and fire, rain.
Yeah.
For the one against God and nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Themselves, what was it again? Tree?
It was God, nature, and art. So you got to remember, Dante's a writer, so anything against him.
He's got to add that one. Don't you talk bad about this. Gosh, today Christians are constantly trashing on art. A lot of times they want to get rid of the arts.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, okay, so themselves, if you do it against yourself, what was the punishment?
You're turned into a tree and eaten by harpies.
Herpes?
Harpies. Harpies, Candy. Harpies. Let's not get some STDs in here.
Okay, I don't know what harpies are, but they sound terrible. Okay, and then against others, what happens to you?
Against others, you are submerged in a boiling blood.
Boiling blood. God, I think which one is the burning sand? So you're drowning basically in burning sand or suffocating
Yeah.
with fire rain coming down on you. Which I don't know what
you're
that looks like.
You're trapped on the burning sand under a rain of fire.
Oh, okay. So your feet are being burned and you're being burned constantly.
It's this one right here, I think, behind me.
Oh, okay. All right. I see
it.
it.
Trapped and it just keeps raining this down there.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so. It's funny how the so you're turned into a tree and eaten by harpies.
Which I'm looking up right now. I'm not sure what a harpy is.
Oh, are you?
Oh, it's like a little fairy thing. In Greek and Roman mythology, a harpy is a half-human and half-bird mythical creature, often believed to be a personification of storm winds. So yeah, it's a bird man that eats you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You get pecked on nonstop. So, heresy. Or not heresy, violence. Violence is not very good. You're going to be punished severely for it. All right, 2 left. Mm-hmm. Which is number 8?
I'm going to say fraud.
Fraud, yes.
Yes.
So bad for
treachery is the top one, huh? That's the worst.
This isn't looking good for our president. Fraud and treachery are the last year. It's not good at the beginning for him either. He's basically an unbeliever, even though he claims to not be. But he lust, please, that guy, gluttony. Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Our president hits almost all of these. Anyways, go on.
So fraud, known as male bulge. Kids will love that one. 6, 7. Really. They have in parentheses here, evil pockets. This circle has 10 subsections, bulgias, for various types of fraud, including flatterers, corrupt politicians, hypocrites, thieves, each with a specific finite punishment.
Wow. The administration of America right now is going to have a great time.
Politics in America, yeah.
They're all going to be down there together having fun.
But they all have
they're lower than us.
Yeah.
We're not as bad.
Preachers. Oh, yeah.
We'll be looking down our nose at them.
Like, what you got now, preacher? I'm just sitting here in my...
what are we in? See, what are we being punished with?
My flaming tomb with a heater on it. My sauna.
And they just get a little bulge on themselves?
No, that's what it's the name for it. It's evil pocket.
Okay, well, what is it?
They didn't go into this on this description, but each one has fit-in punishments for whatever form of fraud that they commit.
Okay. All right.
Which leaves us with circle 9.
Treachery.
Yes, the deepest and coldest circle.
Oh, that's the freezing spot, huh?
Yeah. Reserved
Okay.
for traitors. They are frozen in a lake of ice called Casitas with the worst traitors, Judas Iscariot, Brutus, Cassius, eternally consumed by Satan at the very center of hell. And Satan's in the center, frozen himself. From
How's
the
he
waist
consuming them if he's frozen himself?
He's just kind of, I don't know.
But he's frozen. See, none of this doesn't make sense anyways. Dante needs to do more work. There's holes in his story.
But think about some of that we just went through in the imagery of hell now, right? Because you got all the fire and brimstone preachers that have been out for the last couple hundred years. You're going to hell. It's going to be the sulfuric, and fire and torture.
Which one of you do you think would most closely relate what they would describe hell as? As I understood hell, I have one on here that I think most closely fits what I think they described for hell.
Here. I think heresy's probably pretty close. Yeah, I'd probably say heresy because it has the old fiery.
That's exactly what I would say too.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. It's funny that that's the one that they pick,
Yeah.
That's the one that
the fiery torment.
And then there's kind of levels for the sin, because you would say like, oh, Hitler's going to get punished as much as an old lady that, was good to her neighbors and everything, but yet didn't believe. And it's like, well, no, there'd be levels.
So why are we talking about hell again? Well, we have a specific reason for it. And Candy's going to pull up a video, and it's going to tie to Candy's crush list. A temporary, fleeting moment of childhood. We'll just let her pull it up.
Okay. Wait. There he is, the dreamboat.
Okay.
Are we ready?
You have your volume sharing too. Okay, so we kind of got it figured out now. So there's a little bit of a break there, but hopefully this works now. So go ahead and play it.
Okay. Yeah. What's your opinion on this? So my position, as it stands today, and again, the beauty of this is that we're always learning and growing, right? So I'm open to new light. If you guys have a position that you can share with me, I will gladly change my mind.
Okay, pause it.
I used to hold the position of conscious eternal torment because that's just.
All right. First of all, that's a key thing there because that's showing something. There's promise for Kirk yet. Maybe. All right. Because if you have that mind, that's generally, now, okay, let's put it this way. Is he being the Christian that's saying, I'm open to, ideas, but really they're not. It's like, oh, no, that's everything you suggest to him. No, that's dumb. That's stupid. So you're wrong. I'm right. I have the truth, and that's the only answer. Or is he truly there? So there's a potential, possibly, that he's on a path. So, okay. Continue on.
Play.
Yeah.
What I was taught by people that I love and trust. I've learned that there are other positions, and a very robust argument can be made for conditionalism or annihilationism, as Edward Fudge posits here. And it fits the character of God, in my understanding, more than the conscious eternal torment position, because it brings in the mercy of God together with the justice of God. It doesn't leave judgment out. It is just, but it also fits with the Old Testament picture of the fate of the wicked, which is to be destroyed, it is to die, and it is to perish, not live forever in an eternal barbecue. And the classic verses that used to get me into eternal torment, the punishment, everlasting destruction, fits beautifully with a destruction, punishment, judgment that is irreversible and lasts forever. That is the eternalness of that punishment and that destruction. So that's where I am today.
All right.
Okay. So
Stop that shit.
We're dealing with the debate of, is it eternal conscious punishment, which I think most evangelicals take as their position. that you're constantly, if you fall short and you're ruled against and you end up in hell, you have eternity of constant, eternal
awareness, and you need to be consciously aware.
Punishment. Yeah. And he's here now arguing, well, there's something for annihilationism.
He's deconstructing. Let's call it what it is. He doesn't know he would not call it that probably.
Yeah.
And he would not. This is how deconstruction starts. It does not come because you are like, hey, I'm ready to deconstruct. You start being open just a little bit. Like he heard other views. Notice he said that at the beginning, like I became aware that there are other views, ways of explaining these verses. And so all of a sudden his mind was open just a little crack and he's starting to question some things.
So he's going to, and the annihilist point of view is, excuse me, you're ruled against, you're not getting into heaven, but instead of an eternal torture, you just cease. You no longer exist.
And I don't know if it believes like there might be a little bit of torture, but eventually it's not forever for sure. Because it's not eternal life, which is what the hell teaching kind of is. Yeah. It's an eternal torture, which is an eternal life. You're eternally aware. And but it's eternal nonetheless.
So what he said was that he had that belief and then he saw this and it fits God's character more. And that's where his rub is right now. Because it sounded, towards the end, he's like, well, no, there's still this and this is my position. Sorry, folks. It's early in the day and I haven't cleared out the pipes a whole lot yet. So it doesn't sound like he's switched positions yet, but he's just seen light on something else.
He's saying it does fit more with God's character, though.
And that's the rub is this is my position, but this one fits what God would do more because God is supposed to be loving and merciful and just, which in eternal conscious torment isn't just.
No,
80 plus
what's
years,
the phrase? Yeah, there's a saying like an infinite punishment for a finite crime or whatever. I can't remember what the quote is, but there's a famous quote basically saying like that it's not justice at all. Yeah. It can't be. Yeah.
And even capital punishment is somewhat justifiable because it's one life for one life.
Yeah. There's some justice there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an equal.
Or could be considered. You could make an argument for that. Yes.
Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Yeah. Life for life. But eternity for 80 years of crime doesn't seem to jive. And that's where he's having this issue, this conflict of, okay, I believe God that this be this. And I think a lot of Christians do honestly just have the cognitive dissonance in their own selves where this is my character of God. And that's where people like us come in and are like, hold on. You're saying God's this.
But you're also holding to this.
You're teaching this, which is a completely different perspective of what God is, this evil, awful, jealous, vengeful prick of a dictator. But he's all kind and all loving. So that's their cognitive dissonance. And he's starting to, there's something.
It's almost like they're trying to, they start to, and this is why I will say sometimes that it is, even though I don't worship Jesus, first of all, I love what Jesus was about, what his mission was. Because I do think he was pushing back against the religious system. He was definitely considered a heretic by them, right? And he was pushed back against it. He was for the poor, for helping those in need, for the outsider and all that. But I will say, like, it's Jesus that shows the love of God or talks of the love of God. It is in the New Testament where you hear about the love of God more, right? There's hints of it in the Old Testament, and then it's clashed with that Old Testament God that's very vengeful and angry and wrath, and I think that's where you kind of see the evil side and you see this loving side, and they're clashing with each other, and you have to make a decision. Where some people will just go with that Old Testament God because they are afraid, right? That idea of this God that's wrathful and just, and it's not just at all. He's cruel, he's vindictive, he's unmerciful, but yet there's claims of eternal mercy or never-ending mercy, right? Yeah. And I think Kirk Cameron is coming up against this, and this is how deconstruction starts. It is this, and in this sense, Jesus kind of saved me. He did save me in a way, because it was my belief that God was loving and that nothing could pluck me out of his hand, and that his mercies were new every morning, and love was unconditional, that held me to that. It was kind of an anchor. I'm safe to go explore these things. And I think Kirk Cameron, he has this view of God that he's loving, right? He's still holding to that. And he's willing to let that kind of guide him in this moment. I don't know, he's done an awful lot of other stuff. But I had too. I had believed a lot of terrible things too, but I do think there's a deconstruction is happening, and you can go one of two. You can reject it and go back to you can be kind of cowardly. Yeah. And it is because it takes so much courage. It takes so much courage to walk this path that he might go down.
And that's
I don't know, though, if he will.
He's kind of showing his cards a little bit how he's going to react currently, because this message went out and we saw it and we're just kind of like, okay, that's interesting, because of the points you just made. Okay, there's some questions going on. Now the cognitive dissonance is starting to crack a little bit, because you can see he's trying to figure out how this, reason how this loving God, this fits his character more. This is actually just. But what man has created through Dante behind us here and has just blown up and just run with and made it into what it is today of this vision of hell, that doesn't correlate with the message of what we're trying to say God is. Because this seems more human. This is what a psychopath would do. You don't, think about, you don't believe, think about our country. You don't agree with me? Well, this is what's going to, now all of a sudden you're in, just because I didn't.
You're a horrible monster, terrible. Yeah. And you deserve all the evil that, there are people that think like that on both sides. I will say on both sides, but it's like, yes, that's more man-made. That is like people just saying like, if you don't agree with what I think is good and right, then you're evil and you're a monster and I can't reason with you and you're unreasonable. So that's the type of God that's been created. And now
he's in this, and Christians saw this, obviously, because apparently I don't know this podcast. I'm not familiar with it, but
no, me neither.
It must be a Christian podcast if Kirk Cameron.
Oh, I'm sure it is. He wouldn't be on one that's not. Yeah.
So there was outrage from the Christian community on this, and he was getting a whole bunch of callback and blowback from it, because there's no good cancel culture like Christian cancel culture. So
they're the originators, in my opinion.
This puts him in a dilemma. Now he's lost respect and trust and admiration from faithful believers. That's his. Yeah,
you want to hear the top comment on that video, which is just, there's only a few likes, 100 and some likes. So this is like maybe a copy of a copy, or it might be. Yeah, it's not probably the original, no. But it says, and so the deception is growing just like the Bible warns us, with a heartbreak emoji. So that person is saying like, here it comes for the elite. They're getting deceived. These are the top dogs. They're getting tricked, instead of maybe we've been duped, which interesting.
So he's at a crossroads here, because he's seeing these comments and people are reaching out saying, you're wrong. And
his whole identity is built on this his whole Christian faith. His whole
career.
Everything. Yeah. His money that he would be making, everything. Yeah. Comes from this.
This is what he does.
So this is where where I would think of the verse. We all had to face it too. With deconstruction, you get to a point, you count you count the cost before you pick up this cross, because this is going to dramatically change your life if you walk this road.
Yeah.
And will he even do it?
No. And I didn't get any of the videos of what apparently he's been doing, where he's on this apology tour right now.
That's what we've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I still believe in,
eternal conscious torment.
I was just saying that this was, he's like, I'm just saying that this viewpoint's out here. So he's kind of backstepping a little bit, like, okay, internally,
Like
he
he
might still
counted
be
the cost and
wrestling
it
with
was too much for him. It's too expensive for him right now. But I don't think he'll ever be able to go back to completely, because this will nag at in the back of his mind.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
No,
He
you can't
explores something.
unsee what you saw. You've seen something, and now you have to either live in denial, knowing you have cognitive dissonance. Like now you're going in with it with full awareness. You're not ignorant anymore. Now you know you have it. You're not naive.
I got a song going through my head right now. Cautious little eyes, what you see.
Be careful, little eyes. But you see, for the Father up above is looking down with love. So be careful. That one.
Yeah. So Kirk saw something, and he can't unsee it now. So he can even, now he's almost, instead of having cognitive dissonance that's conscious, subconsciously.
Now it's conscious,
Now he has to consciously.
That's torture.
Disassociate with what he's seeing and all this out here.
Yeah, so, and I would almost say like these levels of hell that we were talking about with Dante's Inferno is like, I would say, because something we mentioned while we were watching is there is some justice in some of the, like you can see kind of the reasoning behind some of them. Like you do this, you get this. And I feel like he's putting himself in one of these hells. He's going to put himself in one of these hells by what he's doing, because I think where you find heaven or where you find your freedom is you got to walk away from it. You got to follow the truth wherever it goes.
I just thought of something.
Not, if he doesn't do it.
And I may not be creative enough to do it, but you might be. Candy's Inferno. And it's the layers of torment you go through escaping belief systems.
Ooh, that is a kind of an interesting concept, wouldn't it? Dan and Can's Inferno. Yeah. Instead of Dante's. Dandy Candy's Inferno. That's an interesting, that would be an interesting thing to like explore. Like maybe we could even do for next week, we could come back and say what we would say those levels might be. That means I'd have to do some work on this over the next week, and I don't know if I will, but maybe.
I wouldn't plan on it, folks. We'll be talking about Easter or some shit like that. But if anyone else wants it, that idea is out there now. But just a different view of it, this is because in all honesty, we found ourselves to be in a hell when we were in Christianity, and we were escaping out of it. So it'd almost be like an ascension through the layers.
Yeah. Yes, that's
instead
true.
Instead of descension into them. So
because let's see, you go backwards from treachery. What is treachery? That's kind of going against what you would say is true, or what, like you're on one side and you kind of like.
Yeah, it's traitorous.
Kind of,
as he had it in there, it was traitorous. So he had Judas Iscariot. So he betrayed Christ. So you're
a traitor to the belief system. And kind of in a way, when you begin deconstruction, you are, it looks like you're being a traitor to Christianity, right? Because you're saying, I don't know if it's right. I think maybe there's some more truth out there that the church is keeping, you kind of, I guess, in a way. So you kind of have to go up through these levels. That's
the treachery
interesting to me.
that you would be in, because you're thinking of if you're reversing out of Christianity, the treachery you're in is that this is what God is. So you're actually, the treacherous behavior is, if you're in Christianity, you're traitorous to God. Because you're not actually pushing his message out. Yeah. Because it was.
And you're actually starting to go against him. You're starting to say, maybe he's the bad guy.
Yeah, because.
Damn, that's good.
In Dante's, it was Judas, it was Brutus and Cassius who went against Caesar. So it's all these people that went against.
You're right. That's true. I was thinking the church, but they kind of go together, church and God. But you're right. That's interesting. I think that would be interesting to explore. I'm going to explore that a little bit, because I think that's a little thought.
I'm sorry. I gave you work to do.
Well, it sounds like fun work to me, but we got a lot going on right now, but maybe I'll get to it. We'll see.
Yeah. After the next couple of days, it might slow down just a hair.
Yeah.
So,
anyways.
But so he's in this area where he's fighting through this, and people are calling him out. So he's, hold on. I got my following. Because that's a tough point. anyone that's deconstructed has been there. I got all these friends. I got all this family.
My community, my support group is all built on this.
Do I step away from this? And now I'm off in the sea of loneliness.
And he has it on this would be deconstruction on a mega scale where everybody can see him. Mm-hmm. And he's got a microscope on him, whereas we are nobodies. So we could do it without, yes, in our community, it caused disruption, but not like on a grand scale.
Devalue the personal one, and overvalue there's been a couple big ones.
Josh Harris.
Yeah, Josh Harris.
Was, I guess, dating. Yeah, you don't want it. It's no less. Yeah. It's no hard. It's like your suffering is no less. Like our suffering was no less than Josh Harris's.
Yeah.
But I will say that there is a lot more. There's a lot more cost to count in their case because on a grand scale, they're going to be scrutinized, demonized, called heretics. And it's not going to be like we felt it in our home, in our, in our little community, whereas they're going to feel it from everybody. But I guess in a way, you can block a lot of that out too.
Yeah.
You can just get off those things. But it is going to what is different for him than was for us. Like we weren't working as pastors or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's working in this. This is how he provides for it. And I think he has quite a large family.
He does.
I don't know if his wife works outside of it. I think it's probably they all work towards whatever this is all the time. That's all they've done, you know? So anyways. So, interesting stuff.
Yeah. That's what he's going against now. So it's kind of what's going to happen because he's going to have this internal struggle until, he doesn't, but it's going to be there forever. And he's going to have this public persona going out too, because he's being called on. And I find it entertaining, to say the least, to just watch this play out. Because I think to kind of wrap this up, me and you, firmly believe hell's non-existence.
Yeah.
It's just made up.
It's made up. Now, is there a type of hell in the living? Yes. I think you put yourself in a state of hell, or like even deconstruction. There was phases of hell as you're coming out of it. Yeah. There was phases of hell. You can put yourself in a very hellish-like experience.
I think
it's more an experience, a state of mind, an experience. Yeah.
I think if we look back, we were in a state of hell in the faith. Because we were trying to constantly live up to this standard that was unmatchable. It was the tug of war. It was pushing Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill. You're constantly doing this never-ending impossible task. So that was the state of hell we were, and we freed ourselves from that hell once we started realizing what it was and that we had created it ourselves. And actually, we didn't create it. It was a system that we bought into that had created this hell.
Or we were born into. Yeah, exactly. That's
but
basically
we realized it was created. But Christians need this. And it says more about the Christians and this concept of eternal conscious torment. Mm-hmm. Tell me who you are without telling me who you are, because this is who you are. You feel that someone that doesn't believe like you deserves to be punished forever, consciously, just because they didn't believe like you.
Yes, and I can guarantee you, if you are a Christian listening to this, or if you're someone who believes in eternal punishment of some sort, that you have people in your life where maybe it's easy to think that way, like they deserve hell, right? But you also have people that do not believe like you, that you know and you love and you care for, and you're like, no way do they deserve that. There's no way that a God would do that.
Deal with it all the time.
So somehow you hold both of those and you think it's not going to happen to one, but it's going to happen to the, it's just ridiculous. But that is what we do. That is, we know people. My mom is one of them. She will cling to, I try to push it in her face. Like, I am going to hell according to your faith. I am going to hell and that's what I deserve. And she was like, no. She won't hold to it for me, but she'll hold to it for others very easily because she doesn't know them. She's not up close. But I do want to say that one of the things that is, I've always said in deconstruction, because the idea of hell fell pretty quickly. It wasn't what started my deconstruction, but it was like right on it was at the forefront because it was very quickly. I wasn't expecting it to unravel that quick, but I was like, basically, if we got the end wrong, then we maybe got the beginning wrong. And it kind of just, there was this weird domino effect. But the idea of hell, there's a comment in this post that we watched today, and someone said, has he read the Bible? Why would Jesus be tormented to death to save us if there were no hell? Because if you can see the idea of hell crumble, that belief crumbles. Mm-hmm. It does. Now, all of a sudden, you're questioning Jesus' death. What is he dying for then? What is he saving us from?
Exactly.
So it's like a hinge. It's like I don't know. That's like I'm trying to think of the phrase, like a hinge. What is it called? Is that a grenade? What do you call it? The key that you pull out the little thing. Yeah. I think if you pull in the idea of hell and you can get it to unravel, like if Kirk Cameron does explore this, which I think it will nag at him. I do think eventually he will, but I don't know how soon it will be. But if he does, because it will unravel everything in his life and he will lose so much, but it will be worth it. The freedom is worth it. But I think it's going to be Jesus' death. It's not going to be too far behind it because you're going to start to question that because now it's hinged on, because everything hinges on hell for them. Everything. That's really what it's based on.
It all comes back to that. This is your...
Yeah. You deserve this.
And it's something that we've talked about. This is the main fear of Christianity. If you don't believe like me and follow my rules, this is what you get.
And
everything behind you is what you deserve. Mm-hmm. And when you start to realize that, okay, this isn't true. This isn't. And there's different ways you can come at it from a logical and just study point of being like, this isn't anything what Jesus was talking about. Hell wasn't defined as anything. It kind of grew into something a little more through the Jewish traditions. But for the longest time, the Jewish tradition was like, we don't know.
It was, and it was just like the grave, the unknown, the underworld. It wasn't like this idea of torture and
the world started expanding a little bit, and you got into Greek and Roman and Egyptian mythology. Then that idea of a Hades came, the underworld, which wasn't torturous necessarily. There was parts of it, where there was some torture going on, but for the most part, it was just where souls gathered. Because that was an explanation. What happens when people die? And there's something...
More like a limbo, probably. Yeah, just a wandering without any purpose
they're
or
just
something.
Kind of gathered, which isn't the greatest, but they're not being...
But it's not...
active torture.
It's not being tortured for eternity, which is crazy.
And that was kind of the viewpoint around Jesus' time, was that there's just this whole space. We don't know what it is. So then the Christians started saying, well, when Jesus said that the resurrection is when the soul reunites, and then the second coming is when all... Because second coming...
They started making up stories around everything.
It was going to be like the greatest horror movie ever. All these graves were going to open up and souls were going to be... It's like, holy shit.
Dead people walking around everywhere. Yeah. And it's like,
no.
Okay.
But the thing is, the Christians, this says so much about where Christians are at, because they need this to be true. Like you said, this is the hinge point of their faith.
The hinge point, hell hinge pin, whatever.
Isn't eternal torment, which we believe, we have no validation in our faith because Christ isn't needed. And even Christ's punishment doesn't match. Christ spent a weekend in hell.
I know. If this person said tormented to death, okay, he was tormented to death. Yeah, he spent a weekend. His weekend is worth eternity that some people are paying. Like, come on, that's not even. And he knew. I mean, the way I was taught, he knew in 3 days I was going to rise again. He's going to be, everything's going to be hunky dory, and I'm going to be like the king of everything.
Yeah.
And he knows that going in. And yet those who don't believe, the equal punishment to him doing that is eternal. That's just crazy. That is not even justice at all. It's absolute insanity.
We've talked about this in different ways before when people are talking about the rapture and the second coming. We've had people we've known, close people we've known in our lives tell us, store up water, I'm not going to be here next week. Next Tuesday's the end, and it's going to be awful
so
around
many
here.
Times.
But this mindset, this religious mindset of, I'm fine, and I'm going to be taken care of, but you guys are all fucked.
Yeah, and you know what? that mindset is what causes a lot of the suffering that we have in the freaking world,
Yeah.
because they won't help, or they will just be like they don't care about the planet that much a lot of times, because they're like, God's going to burn it all up anyway. So it doesn't really matter, because they do think the whole planet's going to burn up. So they don't care. And it's like that kind of mindset, and the mindset of like, well, if you're suffering, it's because, you know, it doesn't really matter because you're going to have eternal. Instead, they should have this kind of thinking. If I'm going to suffer for eternity, you should try to make me have the most comfortable, enjoyable life possible, because this is it for me, because I have an eternity coming up of torture.
Mm-hmm.
So shouldn't you want to make those who don't believe like just enjoy life?
And
if you're a good person and you actually feel like loving and kind, and you have loving kindness in you, that should be your desire. Make it the best you possibly can for them, instead of trying to enforce rules and make them live miserably and follow your rules, because it's not we were always told it wasn't the following of the rules, it's the belief, you know, like what's crazy is I was even kind of taught like, it's not even about Jesus' teachings. It's just believing that Jesus did what he said he did.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so you don't even, that's crazy. I don't know.
This says so much about the Christian faith. It just amazes me how much it says about what they actually believe, because anybody with empathy can look in here and be like, why would I want to follow a God that's going to do this to innocent people? And they'll be like, they're not so innocent. And I'm like, okay, calm down, Brittany. All right. Because, you know, an empathetic person is going to be like, this doesn't make sense. Why would this loving, all merciful, your messaging is horrible. If I don't join forces with you, I'm tortured forever. This is awful. It's not a very good message. It's not loving. It's not kind.
And they're like, it's not hard though. You just simply got to believe it. And it's like, you're asking me to believe something that I actually do not believe or see evidence of. And I'm just supposed to assume that it's true. And then you don't leave it at belief. But now I've got to follow all these rules.
Here's another thing to think. There's that, I can't remember his name, but he's one of the older guys. He's a preacher that goes to college campuses and debates kids in the commons areas. And
I think I know what you're talking about. Kind of tall,
and he was
thinner
debating
guy.
that one English kid that's an atheist. And the kid brought up a great concept to him. Said, okay, let's go back a few thousand years. You're a Canaanite, and you don't know the Jewish God. Do you defend your family when the Israelites are coming after you to attack you, knowing that their God commanded to kill you, your wife, your kids? Or do you just roll over and say, nope, this is God's will? The thing is that they have trouble answering that because they put themselves in the hero role.
Yeah,
Christians
they always do. They don't think else. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
the
disciples
right
in the
this.
story. They're not the Pharisees. And
if you can get a Christian and see it from the outside point of view, because anyone's going to say, if they were a Canaanite, I'm going to fight because they're coming after my whole family and they're not leaving anyone standing. So I have to defend. No one is going to be like, okay, yes, all right, here we are. Take us, your God's right. No. They're going to fight for it. So when you can get them to think outside of it and be like, okay, but what if this isn't, let's put you, if you can get them, and it's tough to do. It's extremely difficult to do to get them out because they put themselves in the hero role of everything. We're right. And this is all. Which
is natural. I think it's natural to think of yourself in that hero's journey space, right? But I think it's a sign of self-awareness and growth when you can go, how am I? You can almost be like, you just need to be able to play the other role and feel the other role, at least understand where somebody's perspective is coming from.
We live in Nebraska, so we have a fondness for our football, volleyball, basketball teams. And there was a time in my life when we were actually really good in football that you can't convince me otherwise. This is the best team that's ever existed in the world.
In the world, yeah.
But through growth and maturity, I can now honestly sit here and say, okay, I like my team. They're not the greatest.
And I like it because it's kind of attached to my own ego. Yeah, that's really what it is. I live in this area and I grew up here and I have a fondness for it, and that's okay.
But I also know that there's other things that I can honestly self-reflect and be like, they're not the best. Yeah. These other teams are a lot better.
Yeah.
But
you can see why other teams would be just as adamant about their team. You know what I'm saying? And they're not your enemy. They have a different perspective. They're going to obviously cheer for their side. That's just makes sense.
There's going to be times where I can be like, no, you're right. Your team's better than mine.
Yeah.
They would kick the shit out of my team up and down the field all week long.
Yeah. But I'm still going to cheer for my team and want them to win. It's just, it's part of the fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it just exposes so much, this whole video of what Christianity is. It's this, we're right, you're wrong.
And it's built on hell.
Yeah.
It is built on hell and fear, and that's what it's built on.
And if you get rid of that, there's no, because like you said earlier, if you get rid of hell, what did Jesus do?
Yeah.
Because their whole belief system is this day on the cross and the 2 days afterwards. And what happened? Instead of taking the 3 years beforehand when he was teaching everyone.
Yeah. Because so many times I would even ask, is it the teaching? Like, what about like people who say they believe in the teaching? No, that's not what's important. It's not the teachings of Jesus. It's the believing in what he did. Yeah. And it's just like, that's insane, because all the stuff he was doing up until that point is really where the value is, what he was saying. And he's not just like, his death was something. I do believe there was something to it, but it wasn't what we were taught in a Christian church. And it doesn't matter if, to me then, it doesn't hinge on his physical existence.
Yeah.
It hinges on, like, my freedom in life hinges on kind of understanding some of what he was doing and what he was preaching. Yeah. Not just him. There's been others. But yeah, so it's just a whole, it's just interesting because deconstruction is happening it's just funny to watch it. It's funny to watch it with someone in a higher up position at the very beginning of it and not know that that's what's happening to him.
Yeah. But I think a good thing to take away here is that idea that you've put out here. Christianity focuses on this 3 days. Mm-hmm. This is everything. We kind of step back and said, okay, that 3 days is what it is, but 3 days was more of a secular thing because he was pissing off the wrong people and he got put on this cross.
Yeah.
The more important part is the 3 years before that.
Yeah.
Where he was actually saying and doing, because that was flying against the system, which is the system again today.
And that is what he says, like, follow me. Like, it doesn't mean like follow like a puppy. It means like kind of copy you see what I'm doing? You do it. Yeah. Do what I'm doing. Push against this system. And instead they say we're taught to worship him. So now he's become a god where you bow down and you just give him homage and you don't listen to all the things or pay attention to all the things he was doing. You don't have to like do any of that. That doesn't matter. That's how you can get elected officials that are some of the most corrupt people you've ever seen in your life be in office and be supported by Christians, is because he says the right words. He says the words that they want to hear. And that's all it's based on. Yeah. So anyways.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there for now. Maybe we'll pick up in one way or another in future
I think it's
episodes.
A good subject. And I think it's something that people need to like it to me, it helps sometimes in deconstruction. I'm not going to lie. I have my times where I'm like, man, we've gone down this path. You know, I know we can't go back and I don't want to go back. But there are times it's like I miss some of the things that we had, you know, just the way the community, just more of that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. And we're having to build it ourselves, which we're working towards. Yeah. But I think sometimes hearing these kind of topics helps reinforce why we're doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yep. Or even times when I feel like this podcast is so much work and it does take us a lot of energy, but things like this, I'm like, people need to hear this. Yeah. I need to be reminded of this. So anyways.
So, all right. Well, we'll wrap it up here. If you are listening on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow. Leave a comment if you got a moment. We appreciate that and all that. We just like hearing from you. If you're listening on a streaming device, Apple, Spotify, whatever, give us 5 stars. That helps us out tremendously. And if you got a moment, leave us a comment there because, again, we love hearing comments. And down below, go and all our links are down there. danacan.com is the main one that takes us to everything. Candy broke out a few special ones down there, so you can go click on that if you want a shortcut instead of going through the website. You can hit that there. So go down below and all our links are down there. And other than that, just remember, hell doesn't exist. There is no eternal conscience torment, and maybe don't focus on the work of the cross, but the ministry beforehand, because from a spiritual view, there's some good stuff in there on how to live in the world.
There's a lot of like practical advice too, like on how to treat one another and stuff. So,
and when you focus on that instead of this one day, you get a lot more out of life and things are good. Yeah. So, all right, Cracker Jacks.
You're just changing the name every time.
Yeah, whatever I come up with. So, all right, Cracker Jacks, we will see you next time on Dan and Can. All right, bye.
Bye.